welcome back to the Journal of Annabelle Clement. After an incredibly fitful and erratic 24 hours, you find yourself suddenly enmeshed in chaos and insanity as you lay down after your first day of dealing with this to sleep and hopefully rest. As you settle down, you know, Dickie, you did some digging around, or Pete rather. You did some digging around in Richard's shop and found some odds and ends that you were hoping that it'll be good projectiles if you can ever get hold of a slingshot.
I have a slingshot.
Oh, you do have?
Equipment.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right. Then
That was
yes.
the whole reason I asked.
Perfect. All right. And I actually did some research and I have some notes on that. Yes, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different kinds of stones. We'll say you grabbed like 5 each. I will put them into the chat here. Now, whether or not these will be any good, useful, useless, you do not know, but you do have several stones now that you can try.
2 of those are actually going to be very, very helpful.
They could be.
What was your aunt's name? Chaladoni, amber, orbicular jasper, pyrite, abalone, and bloodstone.
Yep. Orbicular jasper is also called, I believe, leopard jasper. It's not even actually a jasper, as it turns out.
It's a jaspery jasper.
Yeah. And let's see, what else did we have going on here? Dashel, did you spend any time looking at that odd note? The one with the sketches on it?
Yes.
Okay. And would you like to try and decipher it?
I would.
All right. Well,
That be a skill check?
it would be of one kind or another. Let's see. What would be the best one? Give me an EDU check, and let's see how you do.
Alrighty. Just a base.
Yeah, just base education check. Because this pulls from so many different things. And you know what it means, something, that there's a relation between like all the way it's laid out and everything, but what it is you're not certain of. And let's see what else. You wouldn't have had time to do any of that. I will say that you asked about Sally's employer. His name is Marcus Trishka. Beyond that, she really doesn't know, except for that he used to kind of be somebody, and then he kind of went off and just became a recluse in a cabin in the woods. That's really all she knows about him.
What was his last name?
Trishka, I believe is how you say it. It's the last.
And he's not an indigenous person.
You don't get that impression unless you asked outright.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. Outright.
She doesn't think so. She's not positive, but she does not think so.
Okay. She's not a member of the tribe.
I mean, she's not anybody that she knows as a member. He's just a recluse that lives out in the woods, basically.
Like, how long has he been affiliated with her tribe, with the particular?
He's lived out there. You know, he lives in the area is about the extent of the affiliation, and it's for as long as she can remember. So she's like,
well, he hires people from that community.
Yeah, he'll hire whoever. He just wants help, basically, and hires whoever.
Dang it.
She doesn't have much info about him, other than
Not
he's
really.
lived out there a long time.
Right. And that will catch you up. And let me see.
Oh, there was one other thing I wanted to ask her.
Yes.
Would it be possible for us to speak with one of her elders, somebody in the community that might know a lot of old stories?
She is kind of shrugs.
Might
She's
not.
like, you're welcome to try. Yeah, that's sure.
All right.
And
If we went out there, would she make an introduction?
yeah, she'd be happy to.
That would be something that I think we're going to do.
And while you guys are talking, Richard, you wanted to ask her some questions, I believe.
Sally, what do you know about the ritual that Trishka's trying to do?
She has no idea. She is all lost on her.
All right.
And let's see.
And I heard Dash talking to her about like how long he's been out there. Is he a member of the tribe? Stuff like that.
Right. Yeah. I assume that you're just kind of sitting around chatting, maybe having coffee upstairs.
All right. And then other than that, I'm writing out telegrams to send to the telegram office to start trying to get these ingredients shipped up here.
Right. Also, because of something else you mentioned, we are going to.
Yes, we're doing some and then the GM's favorite thing is the meditation, doing a tarot card reading, and keeping a dream journal next to me for in case I get racked with dreams.
Right. And there is a roll request in chat for you.
Hey!
Ooh. Okay. Your dreams are troubled. As you're waking up, probably about 2 a.m, you reach towards your dream journal and decide instead to grab your tarot cards. And you lay them out. And oh boy, it's been a while since I've done this. The overall feel is the cards don't make sense for their positions. Something's not right. You've read cards for a long time. There's a feel for how they lay out, and some of them sort of make sense. Other ones just don't jibe with where they're supposed to go. This doesn't. The disturbing thing about the reading is the reading doesn't make sense. You can't quite interpret it.
All right, so it's nonsensical. There's no real any directional definition or even a overabundance of positive nor negative.
Every card that came up was major arcana,
Okay.
which I don't know if you read tarot cards, but that has some significance. They're all, basically royalty type cards, or of the
The Tower, the Hangman, the Devil.
basically yes.
Evil.
But like the tower is in the wrong position to where it would make sense with where the judgment is, or the chariot, or whatever. So it is mildly disturbing on your 7 card spread. It doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense.
Right.
Or at least to me, it doesn't make sense. Maybe at some point it will,
Right.
or it actually makes more sense for a whole different person. Okay.
Could be. You never know. And let
True.
me see what else. Dream journal. Troubled dreams, yes, but nothing that stands out.
So no like vivid images or
No, it's just
places.
No, I mean a couple flashes from the when the guy attacked Sally and you had to fight him and such, but no beyond that.
Okay.
Peter, you on the other hand are quite troubled with your dreams. You're having a hard time sleeping. When you do sleep, you just have nightmares about what you saw. They're severe enough that Dashel and Richard, you actually see him kind of thrashing about in his sleep. This kid's been through a lot in the past 24 hours. So, and
Just keep aware of him. If he bolts upright, calm him down. But if he's just kind of thrashing around in the sleep, then just gonna let him thrash around in the sleep.
all right, and now we toop and Sally. All right, everybody gets a nice little rest. And that puts you at full health, Mr. Richard.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I believe that will get Mr. Dashel. Yes. And Peter, all good. And there we go. And after a long, rather uncomfortable night jammed into the coffee shop and emporium, you wake to a very rainy Portland day. And what would you like to do?
Well, of course, we'll do some breakfast, and I'm going to still kind of consult more of the occult books to arm myself versus the supernatural.
Okay. All right. Well, in that case, I would like, again, just one more occult roll. And I can request that.
And just a straight occult roll or any pluses?
Yeah, it's already in chat. No, just regular, straight. Oh.
Oh, I got a 15.
Yeah,
Hey!
no, that's a very good check. As you wake, a little clarity starts to come, and you've heard of like chaos magic, and it's a very old taboo subject because it's not black magic. It is not any kind of magic that is normally dealt with, and it deals with very kind of hushed gods that aren't discussed and forces that are not understood. And you're starting to realize this has that air to it. There's something that doesn't play by the normal rules in play here. It kind of sets the hairs in your neck rising because you realize this is something far different than most of your books are prepared you for.
Yeah.
So.
Well, now that the things that have been in the other books have now come knocking at other people's doors, it's time to figure out how to best either send them back where they came from or end them altogether.
Could be anything. And the morning is yours.
Repeat that again?
The morning is yours. What would you like to do?
Okay.
Oh, the morning is ours.
Yeah.
Say there, Richard. How much of that Mr. Tricksha's order do you have ready to go?
Well, I've got pretty much everything written down for the telegraph office, and I don't know how much anyone is going to be able to get to us as quickly as it's wanted, but we're definitely going to send out the smoke signals and see if the wagons come running.
Well, how much of it do you currently have on hand?
On hand? He vaguely gestures at his shop. I don't really have any of this. I mean, there's a quarry probably a good 8 hours away that might have the slate. That's going to be about the fastest thing I'm probably going to be able to get. All the rest of the order is going to take a little bit of time to get here as it gets shipped either by ship or by train.
Airplane. Sally
And plane.
pipes up. Sally pipes up. He will pay what you need to get it here by airplane.
By plane then.
10 pounds of Jimson weed. What's black drink?
It's something you really don't want to try. It'll make you see other dimensions and third walls.
15 gallons. That's a hell of a lot.
That's what I said. And how?
5 pounds of sleepy grass. Azurite, 10 pounds.
To which I could probably get here pretty quickly. I mean, I might have 10 pounds of it here. I might.
50.
In fact, I'm going to actually go look at my Azurite stores and see if I have close to 5 pounds?
Of what?
Of Azurite.
10.
pounds. I'll see if I've got it as close to that many poundage here.
50 pounds of black slate.
That's going to come from that quarry I was talking about. That's actually, it can be done local.
And 50 pounds of white sage.
That's
a lot of white sage.
a lot of white sage, and sage grows everywhere.
So you'll have to just go out and start gathering sage?
No, we'll hire someone to do that.
So you don't have any of this on hand.
No, this whole order was a surprise to me.
And just so that, as an aside, so you know that if you pull out all the stops, you could get most of these ingredients in probably 3 to 4 days. I mean, that's going to extremes. It'd be expensive, but it could be done.
Yeah, and I think the black water was going to be the hardest to get within the 2-week period.
Yeah, it's you would be able to get it. I'd say everything on the list. If you needed it right now and money was no object, 3 to 4 days to get essentially everything. You might be a little shy on 1 or 2 things, but you can essentially fill the order.
But yeah, and of course in the notes, just tell me how much you need to get it here by, no later than this day.
Right, and that's So just so you know what you're working with, it'll be pricey, but this old guy says he'll pay for it. So
we gave him $75 up front, right?
Yeah, $75 up front, and then if they require more, then I'll get more.
I think that you should start putting that order together.
But he holds up the telegram letters to be sent out to the individual places that would basically give him the ability to have them shipped.
And when you're done with that, I think we should take a trip out to Mr. Trishka's home and have a meeting.
You said that there's no roads out that way. Would we need to procure horses?
now there's roads. They're just the last bit's probably going to be on foot. Sally says.
Okay, so there's roads up there, but we might have to walk a mile or two.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, I think I can handle that. I'll put on my extra socks. So I head out to the telegraph office to start shooting out the orders.
Alrighty. Fantastic. Hold on just one moment.
Mark them urgent. We'll pay the telegraph office a little extra if they move them to the top of the pile.
Fantastic. You should see something in chat.
No, I don't see anything.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, it's raining.
Not a darn thing.
Okay. All right. So you head off to the local, place where you can make telegraph. There's a Western Union not too far away.
Wonderful.
And then you head back.
Say, Sam, I got some telegrams here for you. I got an extra $2 in here for you if you put it at the top of the list.
$2. Wow, that's amazing. So that's like double what it costs. But yeah, so.
Yeah, basically a tip.
So, yeah, he's like, well, if we get a reply, we'll anything, we'll send them your way.
Thank you, sir. There's extra tips if it gets to me quickly.
You have it.
You know the job.
You always aim to please.
And then off into the rain I go, and I guess keep aware of my surroundings, just in case if there's more hoodlums about that are about ready to take my head off.
As you're out in the rain, Sally's. You guys see Sally just kind of looking around the shop, and finally she turns and looks at Dashel. It's like, why would he attack me? I don't understand what was wrong with that guy.
Well, I dare say I don't think it had anything to do with you specifically. It seems to me like this man that attacked you would have a purpose involving your employer. I think we need to speak with your attacker.
He's
currently held in a cell. I'm sure we could get access.
As long as I don't have to talk to him. That guy was
Well,
nuts.
I wouldn't think that you would. Do you remember anything he said during the attack?
He just screamed and yelled, and he sounded like an animal.
Didn't say anything specific. No words of any kind. Just pure animal rage.
He growled at me.
Growl.
He growled. There was no words. He growled and yelled and just struck at me. I'm very lucky.
Did you feel when he was striking at you that he was intending to kill you, or was it less focused than that?
I've been attacked by animals before, and it felt like when an animal attacks you.
I see. Very strange. I'd like to make a trip out to talk to your employer. I'd also like to make, while on that trip, since it's close at hand, I'd like to speak with some of your community's elders.
It's raining. They'll probably be home.
I will see about securing us some transportation.
We still have that car.
You still do have a car, so.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. We would use the car and hoof it out there.
All right.
It's going to be a short walk. What could happen?
I prefer not to speculate.
All right. So what's your first destination?
Let's see. You got to go to the telegraph
I'm
office.
actually on my way back from
to
do the telegraph.
Okay.
Telegraph office, so I think you still wanted to swing by the police station to make any other inquiries at the Madman. And
yeah, I think we want to swing by the police station first. Try to get in to see the Madman.
All right.
And then plan to go out to the Mr. Trishka's house.
Okay.
And is it like a reservation out there, or
No, just a little village, just a
village,
little
of,
town. Yeah, just a little town.
Mostly indigenous people.
As far as you know, I mean, you haven't been there, so you don't know.
Right. So I guess we'll make the trip to the village first.
The village first.
Well, I assume it's easier to get to.
then the police station?
No. After the police station, we go to the village before we go to Trix's.
Okay.
I'm assuming. Am I correct in my assumption?
You haven't been there, so you don't really know. You could ask Sally.
How far is the village?
As it turns out, you ask Sally. The man's cabin is actually kind of on the way to the village. I mean, it kind of Y's out, and one way goes a little ways to his cabin. Then you backtrack a little bit and go the rest of the way to the village. The village is on the Columbia.
So the Trishka's cabin is on the way to the village.
Right.
So it would be easier to go to the cabin first and then the village to talk to the elders.
Probably.
That sounds about right.
All right, we'll do that then. Police
So-
station first, I guess.
Alrighty. I would like everybody to make a spot hidden for me.
Spot hidden, you say?
Spot hidden. Indeed. Richard, and let me go ahead and do Sally. She can do it too.
Well, somebody saw it,
Yep.
and Sally saw it.
Yeah, all right.
Me and Dash saw nothing.
Well, you guys were busy doing work
Yeah,
stuff, and
we're far too busy to see these little tiny things.
she's just kind of hanging out, like, I don't know, what's going on?
Yeah, Pete and Sally looks at you, Pete, and just kind of has a look. You know it instantly as well, because you just kind of you don't know what, but you know that feeling you're being watched. People are looking at you, and she's kind of looking at you like, yeah, I feel it too.
Oh, and I make sure that I lock up the shop and put a sign up saying "Be back tomorrow."
About the time you're leaving, the coffee shop people show up, and they're setting up shop because it's all in the same space. So
Well, I'm pretty sure they have their own entrance.
no, actually, it's all big shared space.
Oh, big shared space. So
Yeah, and it's pretty typical. You have price tags and everything. They'll just send somebody down to run the register for you.
great.
You guys all cover for each other
Then
regularly.
we'll leave it along, and
Yep.
I'll tip one of the girls an extra $1 to run my shop.
There you go.
It's coming out of Triska's fund.
So, being that Pete and Sally had that funny feeling, I want to look around and see, like, if I can see where that feeling is coming from. See if there like, can I get a visual of seeing somebody watching us, or is it just the heebie-jeebies?
Gotcha. Let's see. Let me look at Mr. Pete's sheet and. Give me a urban survival at advantage with a bonus die. Yeah, you'll see survival urban.
S skills. You just scroll down.
I can actually request it.
You're looking at your stats.
I'm looking up here
Oh.
because I got a roll.
I threw it in chat for you.
Oh, okay.
Roll an extra 10-sided die, because I would think that would be with an advantage, and we'll see if that helps.
On the D10.
Yeah,
Wait, hold on. Is it that one? It's hard for me to see.
that's okay.
I feel like I'm not seeing very well.
Yeah, you're on the
today.
D10.
Then you have to click the word roll.
And then click roll.
Lower right.
Oh, okay, there we go.
Yeah, that would give you
70.
75. All right. Yeah, you can't. You don't know where it's coming from, and I think she is going to do the same thing. Let's see if maybe that's not her forte.
Come on, Sally, save the day.
I'm going to give her. What would she? She would not have advantage. And she would not see anything. All right. So, yeah. You guys notice that Sally and Peter both are kind of scanning around and looking a little bit uncomfortable, but you don't know why.
Okay, now they're making me on edge.
Okay.
So now I'm being extra careful about the surroundings. Like, what are you guys? What are you two peeping around for?
I just feel like I'm being watched.
You do, huh? What about you, Pete?
You don't feel that?
I've been kind of in my head with the orders and going off to see that crazy guy that I beamed in the noggin. I mean, I got a lot going on.
Well, there's certainly something. Something certainly feels a little strange.
Strange, you say?
You can give me a spot hidden check if you'd like.
We'll take our time. We'll kind of slowly scan as we're being a little more slow.
All right.
And just a straight roll or advantage?
It's in chat. It's in chat. Straight roll. I'll try and pop the rolls for you so that you know that what I'm looking for.
Okay.
And yeah, you don't really see anything. And yeah.
Hey, Chris.
Yes.
My spot hidden was a 66. Right?
Oh.
My skill is a 60.
All right.
If I spend 6 luck points, that'll make it a marginal success.
Yeah, actually it would. Go ahead and
Can I do that?
and then, yes, you may. You absolutely
All right, I'm
may.
going to spend 6 luck points. 4. And that gives me a nominal success.
All right. From the, as you see everybody just kind of looking around, you see somebody just kind of almost obvious, which actually makes him hard to spot. There's a guy just walking. He's got a newspaper under his arm, and smoking a cigarette, and just kind of walking right behind you. And as you guys slow and pause, you see him kind of stop, and looks like he's tying his shoe or something, so he doesn't overtake you.
How's he dressed?
Not overly nice. Just kind of looks like he's getting ready to go work at the factory or whatever. Just kind of dingy work clothes.
Just some Joe Blow.
Just some guy.
Well, all right. I won't say anything about it right away, but I will attempt to keep an eye on him without giving away that I've spotted him.
Okay. All right. Give me a stealth check.
And this is where.
This is on the street. Just I assume this. Was your going? Are you walking to the police station or are you driving?
How far away is it?
It's just a few blocks. It's pretty close.
Then we're walking, yeah.
Alrighty.
1920s.
Yeah.
We still believe in things like walking and exercise.
I would like from you a stealth check. It's in chat.
Yeah, I see it. All right. Not my forte.
Well, you never know.
Give it a roll.
Ooh.
Not today, Satan.
At some point.
Oh, wait. Yeah, today, Satan.
As you look back, the guy locks eyes with you and immediately steps to the side, right at the corner, and out of sight. And you've lost sight of him.
Well, he's seen me, and I've seen that he's seen that I've seen him.
Yes.
So I just sigh, roll my eyes, and stop dead in my tracks, pivot fully at the guy, and then I start walking over towards him.
Okay, he went around the corner.
Oh,
He
around
stepped
the
out of
corner.
sight around the corner, about like 4 storefronts behind you.
in that case, I run to the corner, but stop right before I cross the threshold of it and kind of like peek around the corner to see if I see him.
Give me
They're all
a dexterity
What's going on?
check in that case, then.
A what check?
A dex check. There you go.
Dexterity. I'm not terrible at that.
Just, it's rainy, and as you're going, and just
I am
as you,
today.
yeah, and but as quick as you try and get there, you get there, and don't quite slip, but you gotta, you pull yourself to a stop and kind of lean out and look. You're just kind of lost in the gray and all the pedestrian traffic in the morning. You just can't see him now.
He's gone, huh?
He's gone.
Hey, Dash, what's going on?
Well, it seems we had ourselves a tail. But I seem to have inadvertently scared him off. But I'm sure he'll be back. We should all be extra cautious as we continue to move about.
Righto.
Very curious about the nature of the gentleman that would be following us on our I got a feeling whatever we're getting ourselves into, it's bigger than just one crazy person.
Oh, it seems to be quite a large handful of crazy people.
And I assume
We're about to see what's going on once we get into the police station here.
now,
And
even,
well, just keep your eyes peeled. Keep one eye cocked over your shoulder at all times.
and as
That's
you
what I do.
as you get closer to the police station, you realize there's actually kind of not quite a crowd in front of it, but there's a lot of traffic in and out. People coming and going from a distance you can even see, as like half a block away.
As we get a little closer, I'll kind of nudge a random and say, fella, what's going on?
Busy day. I came in to report a break-in, but man, I can't even get in there. There's I don't know what's going on. He just kind of wanders off. He's very busy.
All right. So, as we're proceeding towards the doors, I'll still kind of hit up. Do you all have a break-in? What's going on with you?
People are kind of skittish and standoffish to you, actually, and you're getting it's very. There's a lot of people, but it's very quiet, and they're really not talking. They shy away from your advances, so to speak.
People seem upset.
Give me a
Psychology would be the skill.
yeah, I would say.
I'm trained in it.
There you go. Yeah.
Would you do psychology or psychoanalysis, sir?
Psychology,
Oh yeah, he wants psychology.
Easy.
60 verse 1,
Yeah,
or your 50
Not
verse
sure I
1.
feel about all that brain shrinking.
Hey.
Nice. Yeah, there's a pervasive sense of fear that's becoming infectious with people. Whatever's happening is it's becoming self-sustaining, where even just panic looks like it's could be starting to set in, almost a hysteria like.
Well, one advantage to being deputized, no waiting, and I begin to just shoulder my way through the crowd.
That's what we do.
No lines.
Yeah, there's a little bit of cussing and stuff like that, but most people are queued up rather politely, so there's room to get by. And once you enter, you've got the main police desk, and then you go on either side of the desk to get to the main bullpen if you'd like. And you just
Excuse
see.
me, pardon me, excuse me, pardon me, excuse me.
Yeah, the
Make a hole.
the front desk guy, who's one of the guys that talked with yesterday, he recognizes you and just kind of halfway leans his head into pointing into the main bullpen area. And when you get in there, it's just kind of chaos. Every police officer and some people that you don't, they're all taking reports from people. And there are
Oh, is there a desk sergeant or a commanding officer, a CO?
In the back, you do see, where is it? Inspector Graham, who was the main inspector that you dealt with the other day. You see him standing by the door to his office with the door open, and he's talking to somebody inside.
Well, I'll just make a beeline straight for him.
All right. Whoop. You see, as you get there,
Light up a cigarette while I'm doing so.
inside, you see his office. You see a woman and some children in there, and he's reassuring. He's like, "No, just stay here. It's going to be okay. When I get off work, we'll all go home and it'll be okay. But just you can stay here in my office for today. It's all. If it gets a little bit any crazier, you can go visit Sis." And he's talking. It's a very familial type conversation.
Let me guess, Inspector. Law enforcement's paying so little you're starting a daycare center as a side product, a sideline.
I wish. This is this is my wife Sheila and my kids. You see 3 little girls there. Things are a little bit
Please.
crazy, so I'm just going to let them stay in the office today while we deal with things. How can I help you today? And he closes the door.
Well, first off, you seem to be having an unusually busy day yourselves.
Yeah,
What's with all the hubbub?
there's
Bub?
just kind of looks at you a little weird. Break-ins, missing people, a lot of missing people. I think people are kind of getting a little bit crazy right now. I don't think they really have any idea what's going on, and they're panicking.
How many missing people are we talking about?
At least 5 or 10 right now.
Well, that's quite a spread.
Well, people, they go out drinking and stuff, and so, I don't know exactly how many are actually missing.
But all just in the last day or so?
Yep, that's we wouldn't be deputizing random people at for no reason.
Well, say there, Inspector. I don't mean to put anything else on your plate, but we need to speak with that gentleman you've got in the cell, the one who.
The one who accosted me and Sally there.
Oh yeah. I was expecting that. Yeah, he's up. Good luck with that. And he points over to one side and points to a door, and it's the door when you went into that inspection, the interrogation room. It's a door that leads to a hallway where that room was. He's like, yeah, head over there. They'll help you.
Oh, Inspector, while we're thinking about it, has Agent Hopper brought in any other notes from any of these other crazies that have been popping up here randomly?
He and that girl, Connie, just they took off in the wee hours this morning to look at something, and I haven't seen them since.
Do you know where they were headed?
No, I don't. I have no idea.
Okay. Well, if anyone does, please let us know. We're heading out to the Trishka place and then over to Sally's little village right outside.
Trishka, is that talk about the crazy guy who lives outside of town?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if he's crazy, but he's definitely hired me to grab a few things for him, and well, we're trying to make sense of all the other things, and he seems to things seem to be pointing in a direction that we should ask him some questions.
Well, I mean, at the very least, he's highly eccentric.
Well,
Very true.
So let's not rule out crazy.
I just wanted to stop. Listen, do what you need to. I have to go deal with like 6,000 fires to put out. He kind of goes off and wanders away.
I guess we can head down through the door and head into the hallway and see if we can't find an officer to help us lead us to the guy's cell.
All right, as you open the door, it's a long hallway. The first door is like the observation room for the interrogation, then the interrogation room, and a couple of doors past that with a police officer sitting at a little table at the entrance. He's like, "Can I help you?"
Yes, we've come to speak to somebody you've got. You're in holding. There was an attack at the bookstore. What was that? What's the name of your bookstore?
Heightened senses.
There was an attack at this bookstore, the Heightened Senses, the other day, and I believe you've got the gentleman in question, the potential perpetrator, currently held, and we need to question him.
Well, yeah, I know who that guy is. He's insane. Good luck talking to him. He starts pulling through his files. It's like,
What do you mean?
That guy was crazy. You do know that, right?
There's lots of kinds of crazy. Perhaps you could be a little more specific about the methodology. What do you mean by crazy?
Well, just here you go, and he kind of shows you a report, which is now in your journals, and
Ooh, I don't think I saw this.
that's because it just was exposed to you. You didn't have had it before. There you go.
Oh, it's the police report.
Mm-hmm. Officer Bradley, on foot patrol, responded and directed victims to proceed to the police station and make official reports while he held subject for transportation to jail for holding. After approximately 10 minutes, the assailant awoke and proceeded to attempt escape. Arriving officers had arrived shortly before, and suspect was detained with great difficulty, requiring 8 officers to restrain him and take him into custody. Suspect was restrained in a straitjacket and chained in a holding cell, but managed to partially bite the ear off Officer Leahy and broke Officer Martin's wrist. ID recovered state subject is Albert Johnson. No record of infraction or conviction, has resided in Portland for 19 years. Subject is 42 years old and acts with no coherence of speech or recognition of anything said to them. Contacted the Oregon Hospital for the Insane to arrange the subject to be transported for treatment. Well, this might be fruitful or not.
He says, but stay away from the bars. Yeah, but you can
Doesn't
go try and
Doesn't
talk
he have
to
a
him.
straight jacket and he's chained to the wall?
He has a straight jacket and he's chained into the middle of the room because he kept bashing his face on the bars.
I see.
But just he's
Poor man.
yeah. The guy just laughs. Poor man. Ugh. And he points to the door. He goes, he's in there. The cell's separate. You can go in and have fun with it.
Huh. All right.
And
I'll head on in.
you just
Hey, I'll go with you. I want to see this.
well, and as you do, inside the
Make sure
cell,
you step back far enough.
Sally
Yeah.
Sally trails behind you, and this is the fellow that you see there, straight-jacketed and cross-tied in the middle of the cell, drooling and just kind of, literally just the typical insane, just ranting, and eyes are just not focused on anything in front. That yours. And there we we go. And he's just, he's there. What would you do?
Well, I put myself front and center and see if his eyes make any recognition at me.
You may as well not even be there.
Do what?
It seems like you may not even be there as far as he's concerned.
I kind of wave my hand, snap at him a couple times.
Nothing. But all of a sudden you notice he stops. He freezes. He sniffs the air. As Sally walks into the room, suddenly his eyes go wide and he locks and looks right at her. And
I kind of put myself kind of between them in a protective manner.
he suddenly just, he can't. He's held up by the straitjacket and the chains, but he's just straining, and he lets out this guttural scream of rage. I mean, he's stretching his neck to bite at her from 10 feet away. Every fiber of his being seems to be trying to get at her.
And is he like trying to articulate any words at all, or
If you call spit flying out of his mouth as he screams, articulating maybe, but that's about it. I mean, it is just a guttural, animalistic rage.
Sally, why don't you go ahead and step outside and let's see if we can't get him to calm down a little bit enough to talk to us.
Gladly, and she goes back outside. She's very unnerved by this.
Stand next to the officer, make sure he's with you. And what is his reaction as she leaves the room?
He slowly just kind of, he stops raging and gradually eases back, and finally you can see where it actually is kind of taking a toll. His eyes are sunken and tired, and he just kind of collapses in place.
Right as he's before collapsing, I get really close to the bar, snap at him, say, "Come on, come with me, come with me, come with me." Try to, basically try to get him to.
Give me a persuasion check, or persuade.
Persuade.
Actually, let me look at your sheet here. Make sure that that's the most appropriate for you.
Sure, she seems like she's a target for sure.
Mm-hmm. But why? Yeah, I'm not very good at that.
Yeah, nothing there. He's just at this point, though. He's not passed out. He's just on his knees and swaying back and forth. Just rocking. And he seems to be muttering.
Is he still watching me?
Now his eyes have gotten glazed over. He's just kind of muttering.
Oh, if he's still kind of watching, or I can get his attention, if I pull out a pocket watch and start swinging it back and forth, would charm work for hypnosis?
Well, you can try charm.
If he reacts that way,
So I'm going to try
Anything
swinging
now,
the
or is it-
Yeah,
watch back and forth.
I'll let you try charm.
See if I can't get him to see the pretty shiny watch
right.
walking back and forth. Just doing a hypnosis type of trick.
Alrighty. Yeah, there you go. Oh, you got it. All right. Ooh. Ouch.
Did that actually roll, or?
It did. You got a 91, so it was pretty bad.
Okay.
Yes, you're.
For some reason on my end, oh, there it is.
Yeah. It really. This has got you shaken. This is the watch is literally shaking as you try and swing it, and you can't really focus yourself. This man is terrifyingly disconnected from reality.
This guy is gone. What do you think, Ash?
He's not looking at us anymore.
Yeah, his eyes are just kind of glazed over, and he's just kind of muttering to himself.
I'm gonna pull out one of my notebooks. Look at the one of the torn journal pages. The one with the sort of pentagram
Uh-huh.
on it.
And what are you doing with it?
Well, first I look at him, I look at it, and then I say, "That is not dead which can eternal lie, and with strange eons even death may die."
His eyes,
And then watch him to see what he does.
not at the words. You can see he catches a glimpse of the notebook and the symbol.
Mhm.
And as soon as you see it, he starts screaming in what looks like abject terror.
In fear.
Yeah.
I turn the page around and hold it up so he can see the symbol and look at it intently.
For the first time you hear words. It's like, they, they came for me. They came for me. They got me. Those little bastards got me. They won't leave me alone. And then he just breaks into screaming.
What came for you? What got you?
The things. I don't know what they were. The things. Get them away from me! And he just seems to be like just writhing. Get them off me! Get them off me!
Little rat men? Things with what things?
Get them off me! And then he just starts just screaming.
But he recognized it, right? There was a look of recognition on his face.
As soon as he saw the page is when he started reacting.
I'm going to put it back in the notebook and put it away.
He's gone on to this just a ranting, and it continues his screaming and yelling, and policeman pops his head and he's like, everything all right in here?
Well, we're trying to make heads or tails of it ourselves. He's got seconds of lucidity, and after that, he's just gone off the deep end. I mean, he has dove in head first, and no trail of him coming up.
Yeah, he is. This one's gone. It's like the third one in a month that we had come in like this.
Where are the other ones?
Well, as far as I know, they're down at the hospital for the criminally insane.
That's all the way down in Salem.
Yep.
That's where they're sending this fella.
Yep, he's got a long trip ahead of him.
I don't think we're going to get anything of substance out of him.
Do they know where this fellow came from?
Where
he
they've identified
lived?
him.
They have?
Yeah, he was just some rando factory worker.
Do
They've
they
been-
know
been
where
in
he
Portland
lived?
for 19 years?
Or where he was staying? Maybe one of those pages is at wherever he was staying.
No, he had a page on it.
He had it on him? Oh, okay.
Have the officers searched his home?
Yeah, he lives in a boarding house. There's literally nothing there, and he left for work that morning, and apparently instead of going to work, he went to that store and attacked those people. He doesn't realize who
Yeah,
the people
I'm one
are.
of those people.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, there's nobody has any idea what happened
He's
to him.
Albert Johnson.
Yep. Mr. Johnson kind of snapped.
Do you remember if any of the other crazies talked about things coming for him?
This is the first one that's talked about anything. Usually they just scream a lot. That seemed to be their thing, was just screaming and crying.
I can hear that. Okay.
I don't think we're going to get anything more of use out of him. We should begin our day trip. Thank you, officer. I think we're done.
No
Unless
problem.
you've done it or
Good.
you want to press him with. Well, good luck.
No, I don't think I'm going to be able to get any closer into his mind or get him to come out to us anytime soon. On the way back up, did I happen to do I remember if I mentioned to the inspector that we were going out to Trishka's and then to Sally's reservation
You
slash
did mention
village?
it to him. You did mention that.
Okay, so he knows where we're going.
Mm-hmm.
So that way, if we don't get heard from again, they know where to go.
It's funny. I was going to leave a word with the desk sergeant to let agents Mallet and Harper know when they came back in that exact thing.
Yeah,
Perfect.
they'd be happy to do that. As
We're going out to visit Mr. Trishka.
Okay. As you're doing that, all of a sudden you hear a loud commotion, and
Another one?
You hear a woman screaming outside in the main bullpen area of the police. It sounds like.
Well,
I
rush
poked my
over
head
there.
in.
Yeah.
All right, as you run out the door there into the main area, you can see the inspectors standing in the doorway to his office. Inside, you can't, because the angle that you're at, you can't see inside, but he has a look of just horror and despair. Yeah, all the color has drained from his face. And the officers and the people behind him are in the same state. And inside, a woman is chanting his incomprehensible words.
Who is?
So,
Who's chanting?
you hear a woman's voice chanting inside.
Okay.
And it's completely incomprehensible, or
It's-
is it something that I might know?
Let's see. Claude, give me an educator. I'll do it.
I mean, if it's Arabic, Chinese, or Sumerian,
There you go. With advantage, or well, actually, you got it anyway. Yeah, it's Sumerian.
hey, I even have that skill. That language is a skill.
Yeah, that was a high roll, and you still got it, so that's pretty impressive. Yeah, and it is, the same words that Dashiell just read in English. She is saying in Sumerian over and over again.
And has she attacked anyone, or
You can't see. All you can see is the inspector and the words. You don't know who's saying it. You assume it was the lady.
I mean, her mouth is moving.
You can't see her. You can only see the inspector looking into the door.
Yeah, there's too many people blocking the doorway.
Yeah, well, that and the angle. You're like at a really acute angle to the door. You're,
All right, well,
you know.
let's get a little closer here.
Yeah, I follow him. He seems to be leading. You're leading the way now.
Okay.
All right. As you get closer, you see the inspector pull out his pistol. And
Did you
just-
say pull out a pistol?
He pulls out his pistol, and
Whoa.
All right. No.
That's his office? He's standing in the doorway to his own office.
correct. And
The last I knew, the only
His
people who were
wife
in that
and
office
kids
were his
were in
wife and children.
correct.
Correct. I'm
Correct.
going to rush forwards towards him.
Okay. Well, this is going to be interesting then.
Yep,
Let's
'cause
see here.
we're both going for him.
All right. Oh.
I have a sudden terrible fear that he's going to do something terrible.
Let's see.
I want to stop him if I can.
All right. Well, I actually have to decide what this is going to be. What action precisely are you taking?
He pulled out his pistol, right?
Right.
I wanted to rush to his side to try and see what he's seeing and to position myself so that I could grab his pistol hand if I needed to.
Okay, make a dexterity roll then. I'll let you do that because you're pretty dexterous, I believe. And
Yes, Dex is
and
making the roll.
and he is going to do the same.
Oof.
All right. Well, as you rush,
I'm very afraid that something terrible is going to happen. Can I push my roll?
you certainly may.
I'm afraid he's going to shoot his own wife or himself. That's not better, but it is.
Better, but not better. Yeah. Yeah, as you try with everything you can, it's like the world moves into slow motion. You see what's coming. You know it's happening, and you're trying, but you just, it's a shiny tile floor. There's people in the way, and just, you can't quite get there. And you hear the shot. And then you hear the second shot come out as he puts the gun to his own head.
Oh, God, that's what I was trying to stop.
As you scramble closer,
Dickie being really close, got some blood spatter on him.
it's bad. And as you finally struggle in and get close enough to see in the door, you realize that in just the short time that you were in there talking to that madman, the children had been slaughtered and their bodies arranged in a symbol similar to the one, not the same, but like a big kind of an odd twisted pentacle type symbol. Blood everywhere. She's covered in blood and now dead. And just a
All
kitchen
the children
knife.
are gone?
All
There
three
was what?
children.
3 children.
The 3 children, and now their mother, and
Well,
the
she
inspector.
killed them, and then he killed her.
and then he
and then he
killed
killed
himself.
himself.
And then he killed himself when he saw it. It's just, you could hear this absolutely just horrified why from him as it happened.
And that was Inspector Graham.
That was Inspector Graham.
Boy, I hope there's no sanity check for this.
Well, yes, there will definitely. Actually, the first thing you're going to do is you all are going to make intelligence checks.
Oh.
And this is the one time.
Regular roll?
Yep.
Hey!
Okay.
I'm cool as steel.
And,
No, that's
okay.
your intelligence check. You
That's the
absolutely
intelligence-
understand what's going on.
Yeah, that's the problem. An intelligence
that's the
check
problem.
means you
I wanted to
grasp
fail
it.
that. I wanted to actually fail that.
I cannot
So you
understand
have
what I've
to-
seen.
You have to roll under your intelligence.
wanna roll
Okay,
it.
normally,
I rolled under my intelligence.
right, so that's bad in this one. This is the one case where it's bad because you grasp what's happening.
I don't.
Yes, luckily you kind of shut it out of your mind and you
I
just
am
refuse to think
disassociating
about it.
right now.
You certainly are. You have you've kind of shut down emotionally right now. Oh, and she does too. Hold on.
How much sanity do I lose?
Oh,
you still
poor
have- you still-
Sally. Poor
Oh,
Sally.
poor Sally.
Okay.
She got a critical success.
Oh,
You guys still have to make the sanity checks.
yep. So what you need to do is click on the word sanity on your character sheet and roll.
Is that everybody?
If you passed your intelligence check.
Okay, all right. Woohoo! No sanity check for me. Ha ha. I don't
And you
understand.
have to
but
roll
I'm sealed.
under it.
In this case, you want
Yeah?
to roll under. Yes. Okay. So, Richard, you passed that. Peter, oh, you did good. You did very good. Well, you've got God. You're resilient as hell. And
It's a strong. He's a strong kid.
Yeah. Pete's tough.
all right. So Sally.
Tries to think he is
What's your
anyway.
sanity score?
I've got a 90.
All right. So Sally.
Yours is-
This traumatized Sally, but she's still functioning.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know how that worked.
I think we've got a bookkeeping error. Cause,
What happened?
We've got a bookkeeping error on the character sheet on the
Oh yeah, we
the
do.
forge.
Yeah.
Oh.
You're
I still rolled. I still.
yeah,
made it.
yeah.
Yeah, you still
Pete's
rolled really well.
sanity-
Yeah, that's insane. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
You still rolled
We'll
under.
look at that. Yeah, we'll look at that after the game. I'm going
Okay.
to assume that's a good roll, though, because that is
No,
a pretty good roll.
it did. It Matt. It
It
made
under,
it on
was
what
under
I
80.
actually have. Yeah.
Yeah, so, okay. That's weird, but yeah, let's see.
Yeah, mine's 90 over 99.
I don't think these brought in the sanities correctly. That's interesting. All right. I will dig into that later. So, but
Okay.
anyway, all right,
Okay.
all right, all right. But anyway, but do not be mistaken. You are horrified, of course, by what you have seen, and all hell starts to break loose in the police station. As you can imagine, the chaos and the panic, and there are screams and yells. Police officers are yelling. They're trying to push people out. What do you do?
Well, I'm going to help them get people out while I'm trying to process what I saw and try to clear this out so that way none of the evidence gets disturbed.
That was 0 sanity loss if you made the roll.
Correct. Correct. You don't have a sanity loss.
Uh,
Huh?
Dashel quickly moves away from the door, away from the crowd, over to like a nearby open desk, and just sits down in someone's empty chair and begins immediately lighting up a cigarette.
Okay. All right. As you sit there having a cigarette, watching chaos just unleash around you.
He's not. He's staring at the floor.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Okay, I got you.
Like he's just kind of, his eyes are kind of, he's just kind of like lost in thought, like staring at the floor.
Pete's actually looking around, watching all of this, and looking to see if he can see any of those sheets floating around.
Well, since you're looking for something and
The
you're looking
Annabelle's diary.
Spot hidden with advantage, please.
So we currently have 2 of those, I think, right? We know there were more than 2 attacks.
All right, spot. Wait. Okay, I have a hard time looking.
2 more down. So when you tap it, hit the +1. Or move the slider over to the +1. And then hit roll.
Indeed, you look and
Wow.
you realize wrapped or clutched in the hand that she wasn't holding the knife, you see what appears to be a similar looking sheet of paper that you've seen before.
All right, so Pete's aware of the horror. He's aware of the chaos. He's trying to just kind of be as nonchalant as possible in his sneaky ways to go and grab that sheet out of her hands.
All right.
And then gonna get away from that because he don't want to be around all that. That's
Absolutely.
a little messy. But he does
Obviously, you probably wouldn't be able to look
down.
at
He
it
does
now.
look down. Yeah, he
Yeah.
does look down when he grabs it from me and just kind of like looks at the scene, you know, that he's standing at now, and like, okay, I'm gonna grab this and get out of here.
All right, all right. And that is now available in your journal.
While he's reading that, Pete's just gonna be standing there just watching everything that's going on.
All right. The police, some of the ones that don't seem to know who you are trying to shoo you guys out with everybody else.
Oh
Give
no,
me
we're important people here. We're agents.
We have badges.
all the badges.
They're ID cards.
They really don't seem to care, and in fact are really kind of removing you to the point of being physical. Are you going to resist?
You know what? No. All right. Now, hey,
Had a gun.
we're going.
All right, and you now find yourselves outside, kind of on the sidewalk with a lot of people that are just totally freaking out.
You gotta deputize this, right?
No,
No. Okay.
he was the ranking officer for the police.
Yeah.
He was,
Okay.
he was the
Hey, fellas, we need to put ourselves some
Commanding
distance between here and the mob. It's about to get pretty nasty.
Well, once they kick us out, I'll make a beeline back towards.
We've got the clue you wanted anyway.
Yeah.
Your
but-
house, your
yeah.
boarding house, because that's where the car is.
Is that where we left the car? I thought we left the car over here by my shop.
Didn't we? Oh, because we stayed at your shop, right?
Yeah.
That's right. We stayed the night at my shop.
So yeah, it's over at your shop. So I make a beeline for the shop.
All right.
Same here because I need to get myself cleaned up. But while we are heading, I'm going to keep my eye out for trails.
Well,
Tails.
anybody wants to do that can make spot hidden checks, and we'll see how you do.
I'm focusing on the journal page we just got and the strange lettering.
You don't recognize that weird block in the middle.
Right.
Yeah, I don't see anything.
What are we doing, spy hidden? Yeah, because at this point, Pete's going to be constantly looking around and trying to be observant.
Alrighty. You can give it to me with an advantage, actually.
Ooh.
'Cause this is your forte, so to speak. She is as well, but not as yeah.
You want?
Oh, yeah, you roll with advantage.
Okay.
Yeah, you roll it with advantage. All right. As you're looking,
Success.
you don't spot anything more out of the ordinary than, as you put some distance between yourself and the police station, you really don't see anybody that seems to be following you. In fact, the crowd at the police station seems to have drawn everybody in, and as you leave, you guys are kind of alone on the road.
Well,
All right.
that was quite a show.
And how?
And you make your way yourself back to the Emporium.
Get myself back to the shop, and I'm gonna get, maybe go into the back little corner area, get an extra change of clothes, get this blood off me.
All right. Yeah, you've got a back room, and that's not a problem.
Kind of figured that's where my my modest little tiny one bed, one sink apartment is.
Yeah, it's kind of like the upstairs is half coffee shop, half your apartment, basically. Yeah.
So I get myself cleaned up if anybody else comes up with me.
Yeah, you find yourself in Richard's apartment.
Yeah. I go upstairs.
And,
I didn't get any. I wasn't close to that. I mean, just taking it out of her hand. I don't think I got messy.
Might have got something on your hands. I don't know.
And when you walked in, it was, of course, it's kind of normal business, kind of quiet. It's the morning, several people having coffee.
Just try to sneak in as unobtrusively as possible.
Yeah, pretty much nobody notices you. Really, or just, that doesn't occur to them that what they're seeing is blood, it's
My stealth sucks.
yeah. You guys managed to get in, and you probably have a back door you could have gone in.
Perfect.
And you.
Dash is oblivious to any blood that might be on his person.
Luckily,
Oh yeah, that's way off because my stealth is way better. So I'm like, that doesn't make sense.
Hmm?
Yeah,
So once I get up there, I get myself cleaned.
You can make those changes to carry shoes.
I can. How do I do that?
Throw on another shirt, and then I kind of look at these two and Sally and see if anyone else is kind of looking out of sorts.
All right. It is now a little bit quieter. People seem to be a little bit different. It's like you can hear people talking about something happening at the police
Yeah,
station.
you can go in and manually click on fields and change the numbers. Remember to click the lock again when you want to.
Okay. Oh,
Stop there.
fixing things.
All right.
Oh, was the stealth?
The stealth, yeah, the stealth. I'm like, oh no, that doesn't look right. It was off.
Oh, okay. All right. So you're cleaned up. You can hear hushed tones talking about something happening at the police station. Some people kind of rush out, looking scared. There's a sense of something's wrong among with people. They know something's up.
Something. Am I feeling this something out of place, out of wrong, or?
Well, just in people, people are scared. They're getting word that the city's police inspector just committed suicide in the police station after murdering his own wife.
Wow, news
that's-
travels fast around here.
It does. I mean, you're only a few blocks away, and it's a coffee shop, so yeah, it would.
I mean, we made it here pretty quickly. Did someone come running in behind us to?
Well, by the
tell
time
them
you
to
got, this is by, you've already cleaned up, and
Oh, okay. So by
Yeah,
the time I cleaned up, someone
Yeah.
has come in and gave the news.
yeah.
All right. Oh, but I mean, what about Sally, Pete, and Dash? I mean, do
They came up to your apartment with you, I assume.
Yeah,
Except-
but I mean, do they have obvious blood spatter on them? Do we need to get them cleaned up?
you see little bits of, most of it went the other way, so the cleanup wasn't too bad.
Not so much. Okay. So, say, Dash, what's that paper you got there, buddy?
Oh, Pete managed to find it at the police station.
Oh,
It
you
appears
did,
to
huh?
be another journal entry.
Took it out
Another
of the
journal.
wife's hands.
Pass it off to you.
Wait, you took it out of the inspector's dead
Yes.
wife's hands.
That's right. I did.
Yeah, go wash up, young man. I'll take a look at it. What is the block? Does the block lettering seem to be?
It's not Sumerian. Give me an let's see. Give me an occult check.
Occult check.
At disadvantage, though.
Even though I have Sumerian as a language?
Well, it doesn't appear to be Sumerian.
Oh, it appears to be Sumerian.
It does not appear to be
It
Sumerian.
isn't. It isn't
It's not.
Sumerian.
Oh, it's
It
not.
definitively is
Right.
not Sumerian.
Yep, definitely is not. It doesn't look like Sumerian at all.
So with disadvantage. Yeah, I don't. I
Yeah.
can't make heads or tails of this.
Yeah, it's just some weird language right in the middle of, and it's.
I mean, I have. Is it that I just cannot read it, or do I just not understand what dialect it is?
No, it's you've never seen it before. You don't know what this is.
Man, I don't know if I've got any books that would actually help out here. This is kind of an interesting script here. It could even be something older than Sumerian, maybe Sanskrit.
Yeah, you could try a library use roll if you would like.
Library use.
There you go.
That's actually pretty decent.
There you go.
Straight roll or advantage
Yep,
or disadvantage?
Straight roll.
Yeah, no, I got nothing on this type
Yeah,
of.
you don't find anything that looks familiar. I mean, it may be there, but you haven't been able to find it as you glance through your older special books.
Yeah, looking through the books, I'm like, it's that face. Her face just keeps coming up, and his face keeps coming up. I've got too much on my plate here.
Yeah. But you now have fragment number 3. Or page
So
number 3.
I pass it back to Dash. Hold on to that. We might run across something later that might jog my memory. Right now, this is a lot.
Are you sure it's even a language?
Oh, yes, sir. Definitely a language, just not one I've run across before. It's got a few. You see the little brush strokes here and the dots over here. That's kind of Sumeric, but not. It's another language altogether. But we'll find it. Trust me.
So, what would you folks like to do now?
Well, I believe the next part of the plan was to hop in the car and drive out to Mr. Trishka's house.
I walk past the coffee shop. Could I get a coffee to go, please?
I had a cookie to that.
Cookie and a strong coffee. You got one of those Italian espressos.
Coming right up. Coming right up, Mr. Vestibule.
Oh, do you keep any hooch in your shop?
I do not keep any.
All right.
Hooch clouds the mind.
Is this post or pre end of Prohibition?
I don't remember. I have to actually look at the year.
1927. I don't remember when Prohibition ended. I guess I could look it up.
Already on it. Till 1933, so this is right in the middle of it.
Do I know of any speakeasies?
Oh, this is Portland. They're everywhere.
Within walking distance.
They're everywhere.
Yes, as a matter of fact, you do.
I would like to make a quick trip to a speakeasy so I could refill my flask, maybe get a few extra bottles of hooch to store in the car.
Well, that could probably be arranged. There actually is a little speakeasy close to the shop. Woo!
Some heroes defend themselves with guns. I defend myself with booze.
Let's see.
I'm not here to judge, friend.
I'm gonna
It
drag
clouds my mind pretty awful.
Precisely.
Draw her in. Let me do a quick thing and dash. Pete.
There's a reason I passing the
Richard.
sandwich.
Sometimes you just want to cloud the mind.
All right, I'm gonna just drag you right into. This is actually kind of between Chinatown and the Japanese section of town. There's a nice selection of Chinese jazz playing, of all things. And a few people are about, some playing cards and a couple of people at the table. There we go.
Well, I'm just going to sidle right up to the bar and say, I'm going to need a bottle of brandy to go.
Yeah, brandy. Okay, and $1.50.
Make it 3.
$4 will call it even.
I pay the man.
All right, and so yeah, you got 3, little bottles of brandy, and not the most high quality, but it's brandy.
He likes his liquor sweet.
Perfectly fine. Do you need some help carrying one of those out? I'll slip it in my jacket.
Sure, don't lose that.
Of course not.
Hand the bottle. I'm also going to pop one of the bottles open, take a plug, pour it into my flask, take another plug, and then
As you do
stop
that,
with the bottle.
this one hand reaches out as Sandy or Sally just very quietly, nonchalantly is holding her hand out.
Who does?
Sally.
Sally.
Oh, Sally?
Sally's like, gimme.
Yeah.
Oh, she wants some?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'll flag the barman down for a glass. She's a lady.
She snatches it out of your hand. What are you doing? And just swings back and hands the bottle back to you.
Well, all right.
How do you like that?
And, all right, and yeah, this is a kind of a seedy little place. This is definitely not the nicer part of town. You see what looks
Anybody giving us a side eye?
like, well, kind of everybody. It's like 9 in the morning, and you're walking in, and you're not the typical establishment clientele here. These people look a little bit more seedy than you would typically hang around with. Pete,
Okay.
not so much, but definitely older, so you would be hanging around with them because of the age gap. But, you recognize them, so to speak, by their quality.
Not a problem.
So I'm tucking away the flask and the other 2 bottles. I'll look casually over at the bartender and say, had any problems with rats lately?
Kinda, yeah, actually. Something keeps getting into the storeroom, and, there's chew marks all over the pipes. It's insane.
Well, you should definitely call an exterminator.
I've been trying for weeks. Those guys are so busy lately. Nobody can get an exterminator, it seems like.
Well, thanks for the hooch, and I'm going to turn and go to leave.
All right.
That's it. I'm not here to
Take
help.
care of the rats, buddy.
Yeah, I'm not here to help him with his rat problem.
Sally heads
I
out.
was going to ask if they were the size of raccoons and then realized I didn't want him to say yes.
All right.
That's fair. That's fair.
I'm glad I had this random map ready for this. It's like, oh, okay. That was kind of funny. Yeah, so you guys are refueled, so to speak.
Andy, I'm sure we'll be back.
Anytime. Try to stay safe out there. Town's getting crazy.
And how?
He goes and resumes his conversation with this upstanding gentleman at the other end of the bar.
So I take it we're gonna all head down to the car and off we go.
Oh, you're headed
Unless
down.
you can think of anything else we need to do.
All right. Well, in that case, yeah, if you wish to, you may get in the car and Sally will direct you and you can drive on your way.
We will drive our. One of us will drive our way over to Trishka's.
I mean, Dash will move to take the driver's seat unless you say something.
Let me take a quick look at stuff. Let's see. This one is.
No, my drive skill is not better than average. It is 20. Just this is the starting drive skill.
God.
Yeah, Richard is actually your best driver, just so you know.
Where's the driving skill?
It's Drive Auto. It'll be under Art and Craft.
It's right under Dodge.
Oh yeah, I got a 36.
Yeah. Yeah, you're the best driver.
So if you say something,
Well, hey, since you've had a few plugs there, how about if I get behind the
I
wheel?
throw the keys at you before you even finish the sentence, and immediately get in the passenger seat.
All right, and off we go. I'm driving.
All right, I'm going to make a quick check with you guys. Beyond your normal clothes, do you grab anything special or different than you would normally have just walking the street?
I had already when we left my dwelling place, I had my sack with all of my basically
Okay,
worldly possessions
all
with
right.
me, which isn't much.
All right, so
It was on my equipment list
let's see.
because Pete had assumed that he wasn't going to be staying at his house for a while.
All right.
Other than
Okay.
my,
Okay.
a couple of occult knowledges, I'd also take my sidearm.
Okay.
I
all
think
right.
I've decided that I'm carrying a leather satchel.
Okay. And you do have your 25 caliber pistol.
Oh yeah, that's always it's in his pocket.
Okay. All right. Okay.
He just keeps that in his coat pocket
Fair enough.
with
Okay.
with the literally like a loose handful of bullets in the other pocket.
That seems very dash. I like it. All right. So yeah. All right. With that, you guys load up, and I will definitely be needing a drive auto check from Mr. Richard because it is muddy and it is a dirt road.
I'm not all that great at it.
Oof. All right, so there's a couple times you get, you find yourself sliding off the road, and you actually have to, people kind of have to get out and push and get the car back on.
Push you get it back on. That's fine as long as we're not crashing it.
Yep, no, nothing critical. Just sliding off the road a little bit. And I'm going to kill the Jazz here. I will say I did not know until this game that Chinese jazz in the 20s was actually a big thing.
Oh, yeah.
It was really a thing.
Yeah, it absolutely was. Very, very interesting. All right, as you go, rainy day. It's, you got that cold, wintry feeling. And, as Portland is, it is a wet cold. Kind of chills to the bone. You're wet from having to slog around in the mud, pushing this stupid car back on the road. And as you come along, you're driving north on what would eventually become 30, towards the Scappoose and St. Helens area. Long before this is really a big thing. You come to a little Y in the road, and you bear to the left. And the road gets a little bit worse, and you take it
Do I
as
need another check?
yeah. Go ahead and give me one. Yeah.
That's a little better than when I did before.
Yeah, we'll say that about the time that you slide off the road this time, you're pretty much at the end of the navigable road for a motor vehicle. So you just you guys push it back to where it'll not sink any further, and then you decide it's time to take it on foot.
We'll try to turn it around to where when we head back, we can nose our way out.
Oh, okay. All right. That might be a smart idea. All right. Okay. And as you look, you are faced now with just a footpath through pine trees, and it's going up a little bit into the sides of the hills, and it's actually where Forest Park would be today, kind of. And just a little narrow path going off, and Sally's like, "All right, follow me," and she leads the way and takes you trekking through the woods. And I would like everyone to make a spot hidden check.
Ooh, I made one.
Oh, looky there! I got a 3.
Holy crap! Very good. Ooh,
Sally
Sally's
noticed
just
nothing.
oblivious.
I don't know. I don't see anything.
You're a city boy.
He's tired from the drive.
Right spot. Yeah, no, I don't see anything.
You guys are walking and kind of slogging your way, and just everything's just dripping. You just got that constant white noise of the rain. You see Richard just suddenly stop, and he's looking up at this tree. And Richard, it takes you a minute. You see it, but it just doesn't dawn on you for a moment. And you see what looks like a black-furred possum. You know,
Black-furred possum.
it looks like
All
a
right.
black-furred possum up climbing on the side of the tree from the distance that you're looking at. And you can see it kind of just, kind of up in the branches, up in the main trunk. It's up a ways. It's not close by. But you can see it moving. And everybody, you see him just kind of looking off at something, but you're not sure what.
I've got my hand out, kind of like in a stop motion. Not really saying anything, but as I notice everyone else has kind of stopped, I point upwards to give everyone else a clue.
All right. Let's see.
What do you see there? He's whispering up at you.
You guys, let's see. If you guys can make me, let's see, just an intelligence check.
Intelligence check.
Yeah, let me do it that way.
Even for me, or
Yeah, actually, for you. Wow.
oh, dash.
And the other one's there. Pete there. Dash, you're you're raised outdoors, and you've kind of been all around the country, and you've seen possums and raccoons, and you've never seen anything like this. You don't know what it is. It's hard.
Nor a raccoon.
Neither a raccoon or a possum or anything that you've ever seen climbing a tree, or
It's got
anything
4
you've
limbs
seen.
and a tail.
You can just make out a long, thin tail and just like a rat-like shaped dark body. At the distance in the light, that's all you can really see. And
Wait. Pete's looking at. Can he see anything?
you haven't spotted it yet.
Where is it? He's asking, where is it? Like, he's now actively looking like it. And I'm like, hey, where is it?
Does anybody want to point it out to him?
Oh yeah, no, I'm pointing.
All right. Go ahead and give me a spot hidden with advantage now.
Do advantage.
Wow. It's just.
Close. You're
Yeah,
so
close, but still no.
Do you want to push the roll?
Gonna push it.
How do you do that?
Roll again.
Yeah, basically roll again.
Yeah, it's just a straight roll, not with advantage, right?
Right.
Correct.
Wow.
Still just
1 point better.
The one person that's
And you
probably
can't- yeah.
seen this creature before and he can't see it.
Yeah, and then I'll push the roll. You can't use luck, unfortunately. It's rainy, and apparently Peter could use some glasses because he just can't quite make it out. Does anybody describe it?
Well, I mean, with his, does anyone have a torch?
Well, it's daylight. It wouldn't really help. It's just between
Oh,
the rain and the mist and
daylight. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, it is daylight.
No, I describe it to the best of my ability as what I'm seeing.
All right. This is freakishly familiar to you, Pete. This sounds like what you encountered 2 nights ago.
Did you see its face?
Did I?
It's so far away you couldn't really see. All you saw was just a general.
But now that we know that there's some of these out here, we got to be on our toes. Kind of pop out my my pistola.
You pull out a gun.
I'm not aiming it at anything. I've got it relaxed down at my side.
What kind of gun?
Oh, just a very
Like a revolver? Or?
yeah, no, revolver.
Okay.
It's something pretty simple for almost anybody to grab.
But like a full size revolver, not like a little tiny Saturday Night Special.
Not a pea shooter, no.
Oh, okay.
Not that it could do much of anything, but Pete does have his sling and stones in his pockets,
Yep.
and he has a hold of Bruno.
Yep. I mean, it is kind of out of range for any of your weapons. You know, this would be
Yeah,
something you'd
but
want a rifle
still,
for, but yes.
Like that gives Pete the heebie-jeebies. Them describing what he basically almost sounds like what he saw. So he's just now a little on edge.
As
Well,
you probably should be.
let's get in close, fellas, and Sally. Let's head on to Trishka's and keep our eyes and ears open.
All right. Well, as you continue walking, you come to kind of not even really a clearing, just a less crowded spot. And this old, just battered up shack of a cabin in the woods. So I was like, this is it. Hey, old man, are you there?
Jeez.
She calls out, nothing for a moment.
Is there any light on in the house?
Not that you can see, but like I said, it's daylight, so you know.
Oh,
but,
right, okay.
yeah.
So go up to the door and give it a good knock.
You know, at that point, let's see. Come on now. You see, or you hear somebody inside. What? What do you want?
Trishka,
What the hell are you? Sally, who are these people? And the door kind of creaks open, and you see this really, really grisly old man.
you Mark Trishka?
Who's asking? Sally, who
Richard
are these
Vestibule.
people?
Richard Vestibule, you hired me to get you a few items.
You're the one. The Emporium. Have you got them? No, you can't have them yet.
They're on their way. I mean, I only got your order like a few 2 days ago. There's pandemonium going on in the city.
Well, yeah. Okay. You gonna fill my order or what?
Well, yeah, of course. I put in the telegraphs and I've got it en route.
Well, why are you here?
Why are we here? Well, I got some questions for you, Bob.
I didn't hire you to ask questions.
Dash is gonna cut in and say, "Mr. Trishka, my name is Dashel Star, and this here is Peter. We're associates of Mr. Vestibule's, and well, we had a bit of a bit of trouble, and we wanted to know if we could talk to you about an incident that occurred just a few days ago. Do you mind if we come in?"
An incident? What kind of incident?
A look around, like standing on this doorstep having this conversation sure is awkward. I don't say that, but I could like sort of
Were you
You
followed?
know,
Were you followed coming out here? Were you seen? Get in here! And he opens the door and he rushes you all inside.
and Sally's with us, right?
Yeah, she's with us.
Yeah, Sally's with
Yeah,
us.
Sally's with us.
And she goes inside immediately.
As soon as we're inside the front door, I'll turn to him and say, "Mr. Trishka, your assistant Sally here was, and Mr. Vestibule were violently attacked by a deranged assailant at the bookstore.
Oh, this is not good.
Mr. Albert Johnson is currently being held at the police department in a cell. Mr. Johnson appears to have had some sort of break and is completely incoherent.
Kind of see
We
him
wanted to know
sit.
if you had any enemies or knew why anyone might have attacked Miss Sally here while she was in the process of fulfilling your orders."
This isn't right. This is early. And he goes over and he rummages through this stack of old, just beat up papers and stuff and starts rummaging through and kind of looking at this stack of papers for a particular one. And he's like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I got it wrong. God damn it. It's too soon. It's too soon. It's too soon. Damn. And he's
Too
see him
soon
just
for what there, sir?
too soon for all of this. It shouldn't be happening yet. It's too soon. It doesn't make sense. And he's jotting down
What
notes.
could be happening yet?
The less you know, the better. I can't tell you. I don't even know who you are. You might be with them. I don't know.
At which point I will deftly produce my badge or the ID card that they gave me.
He kind of
And I say, "Well, sir, we're with the U.S. Department of Secret Intelligence."
takes it and he goes, and he hands
I'm a
it back to you.
government stenographer.
And he seems thoroughly unimpressed.
Well, I communicate through my demeanor that I'm very impressed with my own type.
And he just kind of goes right back to looking through, and he's like jotting down, and he seems to be like doing calculations or something. It's like, checking with things.
I'm trying to follow along with what he's doing.
It's a bunch of math. It is just math. There's no, he seems to be adding and subtracting and multiplying numbers, but the relevance is pretty much, well, actually, give me an education check at disadvantage. Anybody wants to follow along?
Which one?
Education at disadvantage.
I mean, he's not doing like an astronomy type of calculation, is he?
You don't know.
Nope.
Education check.
Education. At disadvantage.
At disadvantage, yes.
Just a -1?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't follow that gobbledygook.
Yeah, he's pouring through these numbers fast. And he's like, okay, tell me what happened, exactly what happened.
Well, Pete, you start.
And
Well, I woke up one night from dead sleep with these cat-sized rat creatures with human faces crawling around and something big and loud growling and scratching at the door, trying to get in. I got up and I got out of there because I got the heebie-jeebies. And as I was trying to leave my place, these rat creatures had my aunt's head. And she looked at me and she told me to run. And I did. That's my story. They have another story.
Now, mine and Sally's story is that we had that deranged man come into my shop. He tried to attack Sally. I took him down, but he had a piece of paper on him, and we found quite a few other pieces of paper with multiple symbols on them.
What paper? What are you talking about?
Dashel?
As he's kind of getting his notebook out of the satchel, he's kind of doing it somewhat slowly, and he's saying, "Well, Mr. Trishka, am I right in assuming that you seem to think that this attack may have had something to do with the purpose behind which you are seeking to acquire these goods through Mr. Vestibule?" Hold on a moment while I get these out.
Son, you better hope they aren't.
What? Maybe you could start by telling us, and as I get all of the journal pages, the 3 journal pages together, and as I'm casually handing them to him, I say simultaneously, maybe you could start by telling us what exactly the purpose of these ingredients is, Mr. Trishka.
He kind of reaches out and takes the journal pages and stops. And his face goes blank and ashen gray.
So you've seen these before, have you?
He kind of recovers his composure. He sets them down. Where did these come from? His voice is much softer.
Well, that one there, those rat creatures had, and it was on my chest. With a hand, of course. My aunt's, I'm suspecting.
The burned page was found on the person of the assailant, Mr. Johnson.
Oh.
And this third page was found at the scene of another incident
At the police
at
station.
the police station.
This can't be. This is impossible. And at that point, he gets up and he goes out the back door of his cabin. He just, oblivious to you all, he just starts walking.
I look at these two and I shrug and I follow him.
Yeah.
Close the door behind us.
He's got our evidence.
And, well, he left them on the table, actually.
Oh, he did? I
Yeah.
picked them up and put them in my journal,
Okay, all right.
in my notebook.
Behind the cabin is just a tiny little, it almost looks like just the smallest game trail. This old man, obviously he knows it because he steps over the roots and rocks and dodges the bushes. And he's just kind of, you can see him, you don't lose him, but he is just beelining through this. And, everybody else kind of has to feel their way through it. Even Sally, she hasn't been out here, obviously. She's just as lost. And he goes for...
Where is he going?
We just got to keep up with him. And keep your eyes peeled.
And he goes for a couple of 100 yards, and he stops. And he's just standing, kind of looking. You can see his back to you as he's paused, as you close the distance between you. And as you arrive, you see... do you know what a cairn is? A rock stack, a cairn? Okay, it's a stack of rocks. And it's about 9 feet tall. And they are all slate. Slate of the same kind that he ordered, actually. And it's stacked up, and in the front is kind of a little opening. And you can see where a few of the rocks have been dislodged. And there's something in there. And he's like, they can't. They simply couldn't. And he takes 4 steps forward. He moves one of the rocks, and you see a leather binder, like the binder that a journal would be written in, only it's empty. And he takes it and he opens it, and except for the little remnants of paper, every page has been ripped out of this book. And he's just standing there. I would like everybody to give me a psychoanalysis roll.
Analysis.
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 What sort of analysis?
Where's that?
Psychoanalysis. It is
Oh,
below persuasion.
psychoanalysis.
Yeah, yeah, it's right below persuasion.
I'll tell you what.
Can I make a psychology roll with disadvantage, maybe?
If you want, yes. Yeah, we'll call it that. We can do that. Because, yeah, this is, I know it's a pretty long stretch.
I mean, I've only got a 1 in it.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. And that's it's appropriate. And this one isn't supposed to be, you know. Okay, all right.
Nope.
All right. Then I would also like a spot hidden check from everybody. Oh, and let me get her.
Spot hidden. I've got that. Go Sneaky Pete.
Wow. Definitely not Sally. Pete, to a lesser extent Dashiell, but Peter, you,
Oh, geez.
Peter sees everything. He sees
What?
the third dimension.
What?
I rolled
What
a
just
1.
How did I do that?
that is a critical success. That is as good as
Oh,
you can
wow.
get.
Dang. I don't know how that happened.
Um,
Pure luck, I guess. Dumb
You're-
luck.
just kind of, you recognize, I mean, you just experienced loss. And, you know, a little bit of fear, well, a lot of fear. And you see that as you look in this man's face, and you realize that he's trying to hide it, but he's holding back tears and extreme sadness and grief.
Did you know Annabelle? He's just gonna blurt that out. Just why the hell not? Isn't that her name?
Yeah. And I think it actually was, I'm making sure, but yeah. Yeah, it's,
I think it was in there. If not, then I didn't ask that.
let me
take
let me
back.
make sure, because this is a pretty
Yeah.
big point.
Yeah.
First one? Yes, on the very first one that you got.
Yeah.
It was on the first one and on the second one. So, yeah, you definitely saw it. That one, I might need a moment. That one screwed me up. Make sure I run this right. He just looks at you and he goes, I knew her and I loved her, but none of that matters now. And he,
It broke up. I didn't hear that. I'm sorry.
he says, I knew her and I loved her, but none of that matters now. And he replaces the rocks, but he's he's got the notebook, the book, and
Yeah.
he replaces the rocks, kind of, and pushes past everybody back to the cabin.
I'm going to go over to the cairn and look in the opening.
It was just
If it's
like a
dark,
shell.
I'll pull out my lighter.
It was just like a hollow spot, just big enough
Uh-huh.
for the book.
Okay. Nothing else in there?
Not that you can see, no. You can do a spot hidden check, though, if you'd like.
Oh, Dash.
Yes.
The only thing you can really tell is that there could be something inside, maybe, but you're not sure. It's big enough that something could be in it.
I pull out my lighter, light it, and hold it up, and like kind of stick my face in the hole with the lighter in there.
It's just more rocks inside.
Say that again.
It's just more rocks inside.
Okay. So I don't see anything.
No, you don't. Yeah, no. Just the size and shape of it. It's big. That's really about all you can tell. It could be big enough to have something inside, but if it is, the rocks completely surround it.
Gotcha.
That's it. Just, but it is.
All
big
right.
enough,
Well,
yeah.
I'll turn.
I'm gonna keep up with Trishka.
Okay.
Trishka.
He's going to be looking around in the trees as they're going back.
Give me a spot hidden check then, please.
They're in the trees. They're on the wind.
Wow.
Wow. So your skills should be going up.
Sneaky Pete cannot be snuck.
Through the trees in the distance, you do see at first one in one spot, and then kind of as you're moving, now that you're like on hyper alert, right? You are just absolutely, it's actually kind of a stress response, At first you thought it was your imagination, but then you realize that you're seeing the same shapes that you saw or appear to be way distant in the trees, but they're there in a couple of places. Just kind of, you feel like they're just watching.
Okay. I'll wait till we get inside before I tell them that.
All right. And
Are we almost inside?
Yeah.
And
What exactly do you say? This is important. The wording is important.
Those I think those things are in the trees a little bit of a distance away, and they're watching.
they're always in the
There's-
trees.
They have the same I can't really make them out, but they have the same movement and kind of look.
Seeing those rat things are in the trees.
That's what he said.
Yes.
Dash goes to a window and looks out and sees if he can see any of them.
Give me a spot.
Same.
Yeah. All right. Anybody's looking, gives me a spot hidden with advantage because you know what you're looking for.
Go Dash.
Ooh. Yeah, Dash, you actually kind of get a count. Yeah, it's like you can see, kind of scattered about, probably like it 3 or 4. They're all like, we're talking 40, 50 yards out. You can barely make them out. But after
There's shapes in the trees. Little-
right, and
Yeah. Animal
Trishka,
shapes.
I think you might be surrounded.
they're always there. He says,
They're always there.
They're always there.
They don't bother you.
They best not bother me if they know what's good for them. And he's going through and he takes the book very gently and kind of cleans the spot off and then starts taking out his papers again and just kind of looking through everything. And he seems very puzzled. He just repeats, how.
Mr. Tricksha. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
That's all right. No, he just says, how over and over again.
Mr. Tricksha, a number of people have died, and there seems to be a pall of rising anxiety.
Not to mention people have gone missing too.
It always happens like this. Always, always, always.
I believe you. It is our job to get to the bottom of what's happening. And I think you know something about it. You're going to need to tell us.
You know too much, you'll die. You need to fill that order as fast as you can.
Well, the order's getting filled as fast as we can, but how are we going to protect ourselves if these things keep coming at us?
Oh, Lord, help me. What do I do with these people? You know, is he kind of rubbing his head? It's like you
Mr. Tricksha, if you want those ingredients, you're going to have to tell us exactly what they're for. I make eye contact with you as I say that. I
Well,
look back at him.
if you want, you know, another worldwide just death in humanity because you want to know some information, that's your choice, because I'm not telling you. Not yet. I don't know who you are. I don't know if I can trust you. No, that's simply not happening. The risk is far too great.
What could we do if you don't get those ingredients? What will happen?
He pauses. He's thinking. Kind of seems to be running numbers in his head. And you see him literally just kind of, you know, if I do this, then that'll happen. If I do that, then this, and then this, and then this. But if I do that, and I can do this, and he's kind of going on for a while. And he's like, okay, if you can earn my trust, I'll tell you.
What can we do to earn your trust?
What could you do? What could you do? What could you do? What could he do? What could they do? What could they do? And he's holding this like you can tell this man is not quite with it.
Oh, that's apparent.
Yeah.
very apparent.
Sally walks up and she goes, Mr. Triska, I have always done my job as asked, no matter how weird it was. I think you know you can trust me. He kind of looks at her and softens a little bit. And I need a moment. Hold on. So I got to make sure. God, you guys, you roll the most amazing rolls at the worst possible times. Let's see. How can I do this? All right. Yeah. Well, yeah.
Persuade or charm him?
No. That's
I have no
you guys have opened the door. I just got to figure out how, as you walk through it, I'm going to handle it in the best way that makes sense.
Sure.
Because wow.
Just gotta cut to the chase.
Yeah, this is pretty amazing. I've got it. Okay. All right. Finally. All right. He looks at you, Mr. Dashel. Mr. Richard. He looks at Sally. He looks at Pete. He stops on Pete. And he goes, you know loss from what's happening. I can't tell you what I simply can't tell you. And not even because I don't want to. I can't. It's far too dangerous. But near the mountain, there is a cave that I have to find. It's important. It is on the old trail. It is somewhere there on the west side of Mount Hood. If you find me, they call it the Cave of Whispers. If you find it for me, I will tell you everything I know. everything I can tell you.
We need to go to the Cave of Whispers and get what again?
You just need to find it. You don't even need to go there. You just need to find it.
Just find the Cave of Whispers. Don't go in. Come back. Get you.
And if
And
you're
of course,
sincere,
tomorrow-
then you'll be,
sincere.
if you're sincere, if you're genuine,
Sincere.
if you're sincere,
Oh.
and I tell you what's going on, you will want to help me.
Mr. Trickshaw, we are agents of the government. We've been tasked with investigating these incidents and putting a stop to any more innocent lives being lost.
And how well is that
We're
going?
not the only people here that want to help you.
Well, good. Find that cave. That will help me. That's one of the last pieces of the puzzle.
I have one more question. And I go into my rummage into my satchel and I pull out the coded letter
Okay.
Ooh.
and I say, Mr. Trickshaw, can you decode this? Do you know how to read this? And I hand it to him.
He looks at it. He's like, it's a substitution cipher. Do you have the key?
We don't.
It could be anything. It's beyond me. You need somebody who's an expert in this sort of thing.
All right.
I nod and I put it away.
Yeah. And he goes,
Well,
"Wait a minute,
well,
can I look at that again?
Sure, I
wait,
hand
what
it
is
back.
this?" He looks at it. He goes, "Wait a minute. Where did you get this?"
Pete's aunt, who was murdered, had this in her correspondence in her office.
He digs through and
It was addressed to her.
he's digging through and he finds a piece of paper. And the sketch of the cave looks like it was drawn almost in the same hand. It's just, and it's just a larger version of that cave sketch. He goes, "I found this years ago."
Notebook?
Huh?
In the notebook?
No, this is just a loose page that he has.
Okay.
He goes, "I found this years ago in an old house that had some other things, and I kept it." And he hands it to you. Maybe this will be of help, but I think that, and he points to the cave on that piece of paper that you have. He goes, "I think that's where we need to go, or where we need to find is that." And he's just kind of almost spacey, and just, his mind, his eyes are kind of looking up, and then he starts jotting down information. This may be it. This may be it. Oh, after so many years, find this cave. And then he starts jotting down notes.
Well, while they're going back and forth about the cave, and now that I know that this cave is supposed to be on the west side of Mount Hood, Dickie's gonna Rolodex through his, I guess, the people that he knows, to see if there's anyone that he knows that actually lives around Mount Hood or does tours up Mount Hood.
Well, let's see. We can do. Actually, I'm going to give a. Give me one of those. There you go.
All right, let's see.
I will.
History,
I will.
history,
Just waiting to
history.
send it.
Hey, I got a 30. I don't know anybody.
Yeah, just not. The outdoorsy types aren't. Who you tend to hang with.
Maybe one of my other patrons might know some.
You never know.
It's all about who you know.
Hey, Mister. Pete's addressing Trishka. Have you ever known Rupert Brooks?
That's a name.
Which is Pete's father.
Yeah.
By the way.
He's kind of like it sounds familiar. I knew a Brooks, or I knew a Rupert, but not a Rupert Brooks. Why?
What about Ethel Hart, which is his aunt?
Nah, it doesn't ring a bell. I don't know any Ethels.
What'd Rupert look like?
I never met him. I just heard the name. I mean, there's a lot of Ruperts. There's a lot. He was. Listen, I used to make my money, kind of doing, spiritualist type stuff. There was a mark born every minute, made me good money. There was a guy I used to hang with, or not hang with, but used to kind of run the same circles, named Rupert. I don't remember his last name though. I don't think it was Brooks though. I haven't heard from that guy in years, or heard of him in 20 years.
Sorry, kid.
All right. Well, we'll find the cave entrance. It might take us a little while because, well, none of us are mountaineers.
If you find it, don't go in it. Not if you value your lives.
Don't go in it. That's right.
Why not?
You'll find
It could
out.
be there.
If you find it, I'll tell you why not. You don't want to go. Sorry. No.
Dashiell frowns at you openly.
And he's like, "Well, go on, get." And Sally's like, "Oh, yep." And she looks at you. She goes,
Okay.
She goes,
All right.
"He's done with us. This is time to go." And she, kind of starts shuffling you guys outside.
I guess we exhumed.
Yep. Head back to the car, keeping our wares up in the trees where these things are hiding.
Now that you guys are kind of trained, you realize that, that's as you move away from the cabin, you see a few, but they're definitely like around the cabin more. They don't seem to be following, or it's not like the woods are just full of this population of these things. They're at the cabin. Not so much.
I'm pretending they don't exist.
Yes. Boy, you guys made that hard, but that was fun. That was a lot of fun.
Is the car okay?
As you get back, yes, the car is okay. Things are a little wet, but it's fine.
All right. So,
We're driving on to the village. We're driving Sally back to her place to her village, and we're going to hopefully get her to make an introduction to some of the village elders so that we can talk to them about,
Stuff.
Well, now I'm going to be asking them about any stories they have about the Cave of Whispers.
Yeah.
And
maybe see if we can find a mountaineer or something.
And with those nuggets, we shall end.
Yeah, but we need somebody to help us find where it is anyway.
Well, I mean, if none of the natives will help, well, I've got lots of people in town that might know somebody who goes up to places.
Okay.
But I heard that someone was trying to end the session.
Yes, you did.
Oh.
Yes, that is where we'll end this session of the Journal of
Mere
Annabelle Quintal.
hearsay.
Conjecture, sir.